You've seen them before. The kind of person who walks into a room and instantly shifts the atmosphere without saying a word. They don't demand respect, yet everyone gives it to them. They don't chase validation, yet somehow people go out of their way to impress them. They don't fight for attention. Attention follows them naturally. And here's the strange part. It's not because they're the smartest, richest, or best-looking person in the room. It's something else. Something invisible. It's an energy, a presence, a psychological weapon that bends social dynamics quietly in their favor. It's a power that even the most confident people don't fully understand. Machiavelli hinted at it over 500 years ago when he wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." Most people spend their lives trying to be seen, but the few who understand this principle, they learn to shape what's seen. They know that real influence doesn't shout. It whispers. It doesn't beg. It commands. And once you understand this hidden trait, it will feel like you've been playing life on hard mode this whole time, because suddenly, everything starts tilting in your favor. In this video, you're going to discover the hidden trait that gives you an unfair edge in every interaction, every negotiation, and every social circle. I'll show you how the world's most quietly powerful people use it daily, and how you can begin developing it today. But here's your warning. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. You'll start recognizing who has real control and who's just pretending. You'll understand why certain people seem to win effortlessly, while others try endlessly and still lose. So before we go further, drop this affirmation in the comments. I choose to master invisible power. Now, let's uncover Machiavelli's most dangerous secret. The hidden trait, detached perception. The trait Machiavelli was pointing toward, and the one that gives certain people an almost supernatural edge, is detachment. Not emotional coldness, not apathy, but detached perception, the ability to observe life, people, and even your own emotions without reacting. Most people can't do this. They live in a constant state of emotional entanglement. Someone insults them, they react. Someone praises them, they glow. Their entire sense of peace is at the mercy of whatever's happening outside them. But the detached observer, they see everything without becoming it. They can step back mentally and watch how people are being manipulated by their own impulses. They see who's pretending, who's insecure, who's trying to dominate the room, and they never lose their center. This is what Machiavelli meant by few experience what you really are, because when you operate from detachment, you become unreadable. You're not emotionally predictable. You're not controlled by flattery or fear, and in a world where everyone's buttons are easy to press, yours simply don't exist. That's power, real power, because when you stop reacting, you start observing, and the one who observes always controls the one who reacts. Let that sink in for a second. The one who observes controls the one who reacts. That's why this kind of person can walk into a negotiation, a relationship, or even an argument, and subtly steer it, not by force, but by calm clarity. They're playing chess while everyone else is swatting at pieces emotionally. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. He said that those who can master perception, both their own and others, control the world around them without ever needing to shout. And here's the irony. While most people try to appear confident, the truly detached don't try at all. Their power is quiet, almost invisible, but unmistakable once you feel it. How to develop detachment. So, how do you become that kind of observer? How do you reach the point where you are no longer ruled by impulse, but guided by clarity? Let's break it down into 3 psychological steps that quietly rewire how you see the world. 1. The mirror technique. Watch yourself. Watching every time something triggers you. Anger, jealousy, anxiety. Pause. Don't fight the emotion. Don't justify it. Just watch it. Feel the heat rise in your chest. Notice the thoughts rushing in to defend you. And instead of becoming them, simply say to yourself, there's anger, there's fear, there's the mind reacting. What you're doing here is separating the observer from the observed. That's the essence of true awareness. You are no longer inside the storm. You're standing on the mountain watching it pass. At first, it feels strange. But over time, this becomes your default state, calm, centered, untouchable. 2. The power of silence. Learn to withhold. Reaction. Machiavelli once wrote, "Never show the cards you are holding." Modern version, don't react instantly. Whether in conversation, online, or in conflict, train yourself to pause before responding. Silence creates space, and in that space, you regain power. Because 99% of manipulation depends on your reaction. When you withhold it, people reveal themselves. Their words, motives, and fears come to the surface, while you remain still. In that silence, you see everything. 3. Shift focus from what they think to what you perceive. Here's the truth. Most people are constantly performing. They live in others' perceptions, chasing validation. The observer doesn't play that game. Instead of worrying about how you're seen, train your mind to focus on seeing clearly. What are people's patterns? What makes them insecure? What do they avoid talking about? The more you observe without judgment, the more power you gain. Not over them, but over your own mind. That's what Machiavellian perception truly is. Not deception, but awareness as dominance. When you start living this way, something strange happens. People feel it. They sense the depth in your silence. They can't quite read you, and that unsettles them, because they can't control what they can't predict. And that's exactly why the observer always wins. The paradox of the observer. Now here's where it gets truly profound. Everything we've talked about, detachment, perception, observation, leads to one final realization. The observer and the observed are not two. At first this sounds confusing. How can the watcher and what's being watched be the same thing? But think about it. When you observe anger within yourself, who is observing it? You might say, it's me. But that anger is also you. So, the one who watches and the one who is being watched, they were both happening in the same consciousness. It's like a wave observing itself and suddenly realizing it is the ocean. This is what thinkers like Jiddu Krishnamurti tried to express when he said, the observer is the observed. It means that when you truly observe something, without labeling, judging, or resisting, the separation dissolves. The anger, the fear, the insecurity, they lose power because you're no longer fighting them. You're simply aware, and awareness itself is transformation. That's why genuine detachment isn't coldness. It's intimacy without entanglement. It's seeing reality so clearly that it changes you without you ever trying to change it. In that state, you realize you don't need to control people. You don't need to manipulate outcomes. Because once you understand yourself, you understand everything. The Machiavellian power the ego once sought becomes unnecessary. Because real mastery isn't control over others. It is freedom from the need to control anything at all. And that's the paradox. The moment you stop trying to be powerful, you become it. The moment you stop observing from a distance, you become what you observe. No division, no duality. Just awareness, whole, silent, infinite. That's when you finally see. The observer is the observed, and what you've been watching all along was never separate from you. The closing monologue. Soft ambient background fades in, maybe a faint hum, or the sound of wind in an empty field. You've been watching this whole time, haven't you? Watching the words appear. Watching your thoughts respond to them. Watching the feeling rise and fall. That awareness right there. That's you. Not your name. Not your history. Not the endless stream of thoughts saying what's right or wrong, possible or impossible. Just the silent witness behind it all. Everything you've ever experienced, every sound, every emotion, every idea, has happened inside that awareness. And yet, that awareness has never changed. It's the same presence that was there when you were a child. The same stillness that watches from behind your eyes right now. Haven't you? Watching the words appear. Watching your thoughts respond to them. Watching the feeling rise and fall. That awareness right there. That's you. Not your name. Not your history. Not the endless stream of thoughts saying what's right or wrong, possible or impossible. Just the silent witness behind it all. Everything you've ever experienced, every sound, every emotion, every idea, has happened inside that awareness. And yet, that awareness has never changed. It's the same presence that was there when you were a child. The same stillness that watches from behind your eyes right now. So maybe the search for understanding, for control, for truth, was never about finding something new. Maybe it's about realizing that the thing you've been looking with is the very thing you've been looking for. The observer was never separate from the observed. They were one and the same. So now, as this video ends, don't just move on to the next one. Sit for a moment. Listen. Feel the silence behind your thoughts. That's you.